Hi guys, welcome to the Stroke Recovery channel. In this channel I'll be uploading videos of everything to do with stroke, talking about my stroke, how it happened, how I recovered and how I can help other people recover as well. So firstly, a little bit about me. My name's Alex. I was 27 when I had the stroke. That was 5 years ago. I had an ischemic stroke, which is the blood clot type. There are two types of stroke. There are hemorrhagic, which is a bleed, or an ischemic stroke, which is a clot. So I had a clot that travelled from my carotid artery to the right side of my brain and paralysed me on the left hand side of my body. Here's a picture of my brain showing the brain dead area. I've circled it in yellow. That brain area will never grow back. I'm now using different parts of my brain to walk and talk and move and everything. So I'll be detailing every part of the recovery. The mental health stuff, the personality changes, the physical issues, the anxiety, the depression that comes with it, the PTSD that comes with a major trauma in your life like that. I'm also going to be interviewing other stroke patients and just find out what worked for them and what didn't work, so we can help everyone recover as best that they can. As I mentioned, my stroke was full left side, so my face was drooping off its bones. My left arm didn't work and my left leg didn't work, and I basically had to start again. Being a young stroke victim, I recovered quite well, but even better than the doctors had imagined I'd recover. I was supposed to be in a wheelchair and in nursing care for the rest of my life, given the severity of my stroke. I will be discussing all areas of the stroke rehabilitation process, including getting your licence back, using a toilet, getting dressed. So if you have any questions for me, you can get me on strokerecoveryvideo@gmail.com, all one word. As I mentioned, the cause of my stroke was from a blood clot. The cause of the blood clot is unknown. I was running when I had the stroke and I tore an artery in my neck, so it's possible that I was running too hard or I cracked my neck hard enough to tear my carotid artery. The day I had the stroke was a pretty normal day. It was a public holiday, so I had the day off work, decided to go for a run. I ran about 4 kilometres and my left arm went really limp, and I thought, something's wrong here. I ran a few more steps and my left leg went limp and I collapsed in the middle of the road. Very lucky that a bystander was there and called an ambulance immediately because she said I looked drunk. The ambulance took me to the nearest hospital. They gave me the clot dissolving drug and sent me for a clot retrieval. I was then placed in a coma, which I didn't wake up from for a few weeks. Waking up from the coma was absolutely horrendous. I was having my breathing tube pulled out. I couldn't talk, I couldn't move, I didn't know where I was, and the weeks after the stroke were a blur of being asleep and having family members come to hospital. I don't remember a lot. I remember everything up until the stroke, but not much after it. I decided to film some outside because the lighting's a lot better. House is far too dark. The loss of movement and rehabilitating your body is really hard, but it's nothing compared to the mental problems that you have to face. The mental filter issues will get a separate video because that's a really big topic. So after spending a few weeks in various hospitals, I got sent to a rehab to live in as an inpatient and began rehabilitation straight away. When I got to rehab, we had a family meeting with the doctors, and they told me to manage my expectations, and it'd be unlikely that I ever walk again given the severity of the stroke. Talking is going to be hard, working's out of the question, and no more kids. I already had a 3-month-old baby at the time, but they said no more kids. One of the main reasons I've recovered as well as I have is largely because of the physiotherapist that I got based with at rehab. On our first meeting, I told her what the doctors had told me about walking and everything, and she said, disregard all of that, I will have you walking in 4 weeks, and she did. The first part of neuroplasticity is just thinking about it. So I would lay in bed for the first week or 2 of rehab and just think about moving my leg, think about what it feels like to walk, the pressure of the ground on your foot, just think about it all day. After thinking about moving my leg, I was able to stand up within about a week or 2 of arriving at rehab, and I was able to walk within 4 weeks. My walking was very unsteady and I needed help. I didn't have a walking stick or a crutch or anything, but I needed help from the physio to help me walk. My arm movement came much later. It was at least 3 or 4 months before I even saw a flicker of activity in my arm. I did a lot of electrical stimulation or E-stim to my shoulder and arm muscles. The E-stim was on my shoulder for about 6 or 7 hours a day, just stimulating my muscles and getting them working again, which really helped. I highly recommend you get yourself an E-stim machine and use it as much as you can. I did leave rehab earlier than they wanted me to, just because I promised myself that as soon as I could walk, I was going to walk out of there. So I did leave roughly a month before I should have, and in hindsight I should have stayed the full term, because maybe I would have recovered a little bit better. So after about 3 months of rehab, I left and went home, which is a whole nother video. Returning home is really hard. So 5 years after my stroke, my deficits are my speech is slurred, which is made worse when I'm tired. My left arm's not as strong, but I have full movement. And my left leg isn't as strong and gets spasticity in my calf muscle. I'd say I've made about a 90% recovery. I don't think that 100% recovery is possible, but I'd love to be proven wrong. Your brain just does not simply work the same way it used to. And if I don't go for walks and exercise my arm, it goes back to how it was after the stroke. So your brain doesn't want to rewire itself. Your brain doesn't want to get better. You really have to force it, and it's a battle the entire way. So I still need to do exercises every day to keep my arms strong, and I walk every day to keep my legs strong. If I don't, they soon go back to how they were. Every stroke affects people very differently, even if it's the same part of the brain. I've worked with a lot of stroke patients since my stroke to help them through recovery, and I thought the best way would be to record some videos and then meet up with people to make sure they're on the right track and give them motivation. If you'd like to see more videos on stroke recovery and follow my progress, like and subscribe, share this video to anyone you think might need to see it, somebody in the family that's had a stroke, or you know someone that's had a stroke. I'm happy to come out and help them as well. If you've got any questions, leave a comment in the comments bar. If they're personal questions, you can email me at strokerecoveryvideo@gmail.com. I look forward to making more videos and helping more people.